So let's continue with the next option of color adjustments, and that is threshold. Now, if we talk about the literal meaning of the word threshold, that's basically a limit up to which a certain reaction never happens. Like that's the extreme point by crossing which a certain reaction or any action would happen. That's basically the threshold. Now, how do we understand how, or we can say how threshold works on any range of pixels in an image? So before starting with the threshold, I would like to take a black to white gradient, and you can see it has a histogram, and in histogram there are like many different options which we can look upon. So we have like individual channels, colors or luminosity. So that's very important for the threshold, because threshold works according to the histogram only. And in the threshold, you can see the moment we enable the threshold, this was basically a full-fledged black to white ramp, and you can disable the preview to see the content. And the moment we apply threshold, the overall pixels converts to either into pure black or into pure white. And how it converts is basically it actually reads all the pixels of the histogram, and there is a slider which you can see, and that slider is basically the threshold level. So wherever you set the slider, all the pixels which belongs to the left hand side of the histogram, that is converted to pure black, you can see. So this line actually comes on the pure black value, and these pixels, they are converted to pure white, which you can see in the histogram as well. So that's the way how we can apply threshold. You can simply drag the slider to make it understand like this much of pixels, now that will be converted to pure black, and all those pixels of the histogram which is on this side, so these are converted to pure white. So that's the way how a threshold works. Now if we have to check the same thing on a colorful value, you can see this is a multicolor gradient, and you can see if we talk about the channels has like everything. It has red, green, blue, luminosity and color. So the question is how exactly it defines, or how exactly it decides which pixel or which histogram it has to select. To understand that in a better way, I would start with a single color, and in the single color you can see if we set the channels to colors, you can see there are like two lines which are seen on the extreme side. So that simply means if we are going for threshold, in this condition you can see the threshold, the line is seen on this part. So that simply means the line actually should be on this side. And where do we actually see that line? So when we go to the channels, and rather than switching it on the colors, we can switch it to the luminosity part, so that every color has a certain luminosity. So you can just understand that the threshold actually considers the luminosity graph, and as per this graph you can see like as of now the line actually lies on the left side of the threshold level marker. So that's why it appears in pure black value. The moment it crosses this particular threshold, it actually goes to the pure white value. So that's basically, now whatever you do, like even if you're dragging near to black or whatever in between these two things, it is not going to affect because the requirement is fulfilled. So that's the way how the threshold level works. Now we can move to the next, the colorful one thing. And in the colorful one, you just have to concentrate on the luminosity channel. So that's how, if we go to threshold, we can see this is what we get. That's basically the luminosity threshold graph, and you can enable or disable to see the preview. You can see like these colors are converted to black, and colors from this point to this side, that means colors from like you can say blue, or you can say a border between blue and cyan, every color is converted to black. So that means these are the pixels which are related from this point up to you can say red or orange. So this is how these are converted. So now you can just click and drag to like convert those pixels into pure black or pure white value. So now you can see only these values are considered in pure white. So that means if we disable the preview, you can see that's basically the range of the yellow color, because yellow is like highly luminous among all these colors. So that's the way how the threshold works. Now we have to check the working mechanism of threshold on grayscale images so that we can understand how it works. So if we go to the grayscale images, yes, you do not have to go to the colors part. You just need to concentrate on the luminosity graph. So now if we go to, let's say, threshold, you can see as per the threshold level marker, the pixels which are on the left side, those are converted to pure black. The pixels on the right side, those are converted to pure white. And this is how we can adjust if you want, or what type of appearance do you want to see. As per that certain requirement, you can like change or you can adjust the slider. So that's basically one output. If we want to go for the colorful one, you can see that's a colorful image, and you can check the colors channel graph, or you can see the luminosity graph. So automatically the threshold option, it takes the luminosity graph, and as per this graph you can see this is what we are getting. So you can see the skin tone, it actually comes in black. So if we want that skin tone to be in the white side, we just need to drag it on this side. So if you want to have a certain requirement, then you can create selections and do that necessary thing. Otherwise, this is the way how it is done automatically. We can again see some more action-packed images, and if we go to threshold, this is what we are getting. So you can see the exact luminosity graph you are getting in this section, and with the help of the threshold level marker, we are just adjusting it as per our requirement. You can go for one more thing, like that's basically by combining two options. So as of now, the sky seems to be on the brighter side, so we can invert this image, and after inverting, if you go to threshold, then we can get a certain result, which you can see like we are getting soldier on the whiter side and the sky on the darker side. Or rather than following such a lengthy process, you can also do it in another way. You can first convert the image to black and white, that is pure black and pure white, and then you can press Ctrl I, or you can apply invert on those images to get that certain result. So that's basically is your threshold, how it works in Photoshop.